Alright, on today's video we're going to be making some char cloth. Here I just have some 100% cotton that I'm going to cut up to fit in to my Altoids tin. I'll come back in just a second once I've got that cut up. Alright, so I just cut that up into 4 even-sized sheets. We're going to take and stick it inside the Altoids tin here. We want to make sure it's all down in there. You don't want any sticking out. The only modification that I have made to this Altoids tin to be able to make this char cloth is I poked a hole just in the lid there to allow the gas to come out as the cloth is charring. So all we're going to do is throw it on the fire and we're going to wait. As it starts to char inside, you'll start to see gas, smoke, and potentially flames start to come out of the little hole that I have in the center there. That might take just a moment. It's kind of having to try to find the right spot on the flame to get it to start to kind of char the material that's inside. Trying to keep you with me here. Let's see. And I am doing this on my outside gas burner. You can do it on an alcohol stove. You can do it on a campfire. You can do it on a regular kitchen stove, except for it does kind of produce fumes. So I don't know if I would feel comfortable doing that on a kitchen stove. As you can see now, there are starting to be a little bit of smoke coming out of that hole there in the center. So we're just going to kind of let it go for a minute, and I'll check back in with you in just a minute and see how it's doing. Alright, just checking back in with you here at about the 1 to 2 minute spot. I don't know how well you're able to pick it up on camera, but every so often you can see a nice big plume of smoke coming out of that hole on the top of the tin. That is showing me and telling me that it is doing what I want it to do. So just going to kind of sit here. There you go. You can get a real good picture of it if I do this. There's all kinds of flame coming out of that middle hole there. We're just going to kind of let this sit in the flame and continue cooking. I'll be back with you in a minute. Alright folks, checking back in with you. It looks like the flame is dying down, coming out of the little puncture hole in the top there. So we are going to just give it another couple minutes just to make sure everything's good. Kind of just moving it around the fire here to make sure all parts of the tin have had some adequate flame on them. And that should ensure that the material inside is nice and charred. Honestly, with these Altoids tins, you don't have to poke the hole in the top because they are where they have the hinge on the back here, right there. That will allow the gas to escape, but we are seeing now there's a little more gas and smoke coming out of the center punched hole there. So we'll give it just another couple more minutes and I'll be back with you as soon as it stops. Alright folks, coming back with you again. Looks like now we're just getting little wisps of flame and smoke coming out of the tin here for our charred material. The only good thing with this is you can't really over char it. It's just cooking it, so it's not going to hurt it to leave it on there longer than you think. If you open it too early and oxygen gets to it, it will just catch fire and won't actually make charred material. But I think we're just about good on calling this done. Maybe one more rotation here into the flame, just so we can make sure that I got all of the tin. Yep, you're still in frame there, perfect. Alright, so we'll give it just a second, and I'm going to kill the heat, and then we're going to let this cool off, and I'll be back with you guys as soon as I'm ready to show you the finished product. And then we will go ahead and try lighting it up and see what happens. Alright folks, I'm back with you. It's not quite cooled off enough to touch yet, but we'll start the next process. I'm getting us a little fire going with the char cloth. Here I've just got a piece of 3-strand jute twine. I am separating the 3 strands to be able to give myself a bit of a bird's nest. I'll come back with you in just a second once I get this separated a little better, and we'll fluff it up. Alright. Alright, so it's not fluffing up real great for us here. I didn't quite, sorry for the jump there. One of those rocks popped and jumped up and hit my hand. But our jute's not separating out real great, but we're getting enough of a bird's nest, I think, here to kind of show you what we're going for. So that'll be our little bird's nest once it cools off. And then I am going to take this piece of fat wood here, and I'm going to scrape off a couple of pieces just to see if we can get a fire to start for us. All right. So that's the gist of it. I'll be back with you as soon as we get everything together here and have all of our pieces. Alright folks, I'm back with you. This Altoids tin is now cool enough to touch. So we're going to open it up and see if the char cloth did what we wanted. And from a quick glance, it looks like it did. It went from that blue color to this real thin cooked black color. Oh yeah, it shreds right apart. That's a good indicator that it worked like we wanted it to. Alright, so I'm going to set these couple pieces off to the side here. I'm going to take our jute bird's nest that we made, stick our char cloth in it like so. Take my flint and striker here. Hold on, I'll bring it around and you'll be able to see it on camera here in just a second. Right here, we're going to strike this up and see if we can't get, oh, there we go. It lit right up. Alright, so we see the ember there on the char cloth. Let me try to get this wrapped around this a little bit. I got to feed it some air to try to get it to take. I don't know if the jute twine is separated enough. We're getting smoke. We may get some fire here in just a second. Alright, so that's looking good. So I'm going to put some real fine fat wood shavings on there too. And a couple of these little bit bigger ones and see if we can't get this to light. There we go, folks. We got a fire with homemade char cloth, jute twine, and a little bit of fat wood. Alright, so just wanted to check in with you guys, show you how that works, see that you can do it with very minimal material. I did just use some inexpensive cotton sheet, an Altoids tin. You can use any kind of sealing lockable tin that you can restrict the airflow on to be able to get that char cloth burning. Again, this is what it looks like. This is great for long-term fire starting. This, as long as it stays dry, will continue to light. So personally, I keep it right in my little tin at all times. Once I don't have a fire in there, of course. As you can see, that did go out, but we did get that little bit of fire going. Looks like maybe on the bottom it didn't go quite so good, but it definitely got started, got going, and did what we wanted to do. Thanks for tuning in. On the next one, I'm going to do a review of a tabletop alcohol stove. Not quite sure yet if we're going to do a little more char cloth or if we're going to try to boil some water, but stay tuned and that will be coming soon. Thank you.